Hey, this is Elektron from Superbooth 2023. It is, and we are here with our new unit that we released yesterday. It's a new take on the Analog Heat Mark II that we had for a couple of years now. And for those of you who don't know, the Analog Heat is a stereo analog sound processor. Basically, it's 8 analog distortion circuits, or 8 analog circuits that you can distort with filter and everything. We had it. It's super fun and beefy. But what we've seen the last years is that people put it aside, tweak their favorite sound combination, and basically left it there. And then they focus on the machines and just use it at the end of the chain as a just one basic sound that they love. So we wanted to bring it closer to the music, closer to the user to play around with. And of course, it's effects that makes it more fun to use. So we started to play around with the idea, should we make a new version with effects? And here it is, the name Analog Heat plus effects is pretty self-explanatory. But let's go through a bit what we added on it. So we obviously added effects, and you can access them here in the flow chapter. We refer to the different effects as blocks. So chorus, heat, bits, compressor, etc. They are effect blocks. And in the flow here, as I said, you can see the signal flow and how the different effects are placed in the chain. So now we have chorus first, and then heat. Heat would be the entire analog circuitry part of it. And then we have bit rate reduction and sample rate reduction called bits, a compressor, delay, warble, which is sort of a tape-ish kind of emulation with a bad motor being a bit, pitch. We have reverb and bass focus. Bass focus is basically taking the chosen frequencies and putting them in mono. So you can choose how high or low you want to go in frequency and sum it up in mono to make it more stable instead of having the bass going around in stereo, if you have a stereo effect, which causes sometimes phase problems, and of course you're going to get more steady beat. Then we have the heat part, which is where you access the heat effects pages, and the super fun modulation chapter, where we have 3 LFOs. They can actually be set to 2 destinations each, and 1 envelope follower, and the box is basically made to design some weird stuff with it. So even if you just have 1 delay and 1 reverb, they are your meat and potatoes delays and reverb that you then can go nuts with in the modulation chapter. So if we take a look at it, and I'll put on my headphones and we can see how it sounds a bit. I'll start a bit with the Analog Heat section. Here's a simple beat with the bass drum, and adding the heat to that. A bit of distortion of the circuit called classic dist. A bit more. If we would add a bass to it, remove it. So the heat is distortion and filtering. Removing the heat, and we're back to the basic beat again. Here's the bits. Accessing the bits. Removing the bits. Delay. You can hear. Then removing the delay, and here's the reverb. So that's how easy it is to put on off these different effects here. We also have a really nice function where you can mix these on the mix page. So if I put on delay, reverb, bits and heat as we had now all together, hold that in, I can basically decide how to mix it. So now it's dry, but we can just bring out the reverb now, bring out the delay, take down the reverb, bring up the heat. Weird sound there at the end. So the mixing sort of page of it, as I see it, where you mix the different effects, that's super powerful. If we go into the modulation part of it, actually we can choose another sound. Let's do a piano instead. Good. Removing the heat, delay, reverb and bits. Totally clean. That. Adding delay. Go into the modulation. Setting the envelope in this case to the delay time. So every time the piano goes over the threshold, the delay time is adjusted in depth. A new effect that we haven't done before is the warble, which is the tape simulation. So let's listen to the piano clean. And now add the warble. Entering the warble page, we can set the depth here, which is really catching the pitch. We even have some noise that you can filter out, the high pass. And the stereo width of the warble is very nice, where the whole tape effect is wider in stereo as we turn it. So let's add some delay to that. And that's the end of that video.